So, good afternoon. It's very nice to see you again today. As you know, we have a surprise guests, I would say, and a surprise appearance with the President of the General Assembly, His Excellency Mr. Dennis Francis. And as you know, since Monday, we have two guests here. They are PGA for a day, Ms. Fariha Akter and Mr. Erik Ponomarev. And I will do thank you very much. So I will give now to the PGA, Mr. Dennis Francis, to talk to you a little bit about this initiative and his two PGAs for a day. Mr. Francis, Mr. PGA, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Monica. And good morning to the members of the press corps and to those who might be looking online. This is an initiative that we've been planning for some time. Over several months, all by way of building awareness among the general public, but particularly among the youth, about the work and role of the United Nations in general, and in particular of the President of the General Assembly. So I'm very happy that in fact the day has arrived when we can do this. So many of the problems and issues that we are seeking global solutions for will have a direct and long-lasting impact on the lives of future generations. And these young people will, at some point in their lives, have to contend with some of these issues and have to either make, shape, or contribute to the solutions that will be necessary in finding a way forward. So I'm very happy that we have been able to get these two students from the New York public school system to be with us today. They are not strangers to the UN. They've been here before. They're familiar with the building. They're very keen to shadow me for one day to see what the life of the PGA is like, because no 2 days in the office of the PGA are quite the same. We've already had this morning a short protocolary session. They are, for today, presidents pro tem of the General Assembly. And part of their training will be that myself and my staff will treat them the way presidents are generally treated. So, for instance, there's a reason why, to my right, we have Fariha, because as it happens, I received her in my office this morning first. And so based on the rules of precedence, she's senior to her colleague, Erik. That's why he's to my left. As you know, in this business, the place of honor, the most senior ranking individual, always occupies the position to the right of the host. So they've had some of these basic lessons. Later on today, I will have some appointments and at which they will sit in. Understanding, of course, that the position that they will occupy as presidents of the General Assembly for today are privileged positions, and therefore what they might hear and what they might not hear would be for their ears only. What I would like to do now is to introduce them both individually and have them share with us a bit of their backgrounds and expectations from occupying the position of President of the General Assembly for today. Fariha?
Yeah. Hi everyone, good morning. My name is Fariha and I'm 15 years old. I came from Bronx Center and Science and Mathematics. And today I'm very excited that I get a chance, like I'm the president, like PGA, so I'm very happy that I get the chance and I meet with the honorable person. So today I'm very happy. And if I wanna share like my background, I came from Bangladesh and it's a really nice place. And here we work for the specific we did many work for the 17 sustainable goal. So we experienced their work and now for forwarding we work for the SDGs. So today it's my opinion and today I'm very happy to come here.
Thank you.
Welcome.
And now I'll introduce President Erik Ponomarev.
Hello, thank you everyone. My name is Erik. Today I'll be President of General Assembly for a day. I'm 16 years old. I'm coming from the high school, Fort Hamilton. I appreciate you for having me here. That's very kind. I'm very proud to be here and have such a chance to try myself sitting here in front of everyone and being a President of General Assembly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, we have a question. Mr. President, Celia, go ahead.
I'm going to talk to Erik first. I'm Celia Davaren. I work for Africa Confidential. What does that mean? What does the UN mean for a 16 years old? Do you have hope? Or do you look at the world the way the world is right now? It's a mess. So what do you think of the UN?
I think of UN as an organization which needs to resolve this mess. It's a big mess right now, as you were saying, and there are many conflicts and problems which we need to solve. I think that United Nations were created for the best, and it should continue its existence for the best of our future. Yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what I think.
Thank you.
What, as a president of the GA, what would you do?
What would I do? What?
You're the president. So what would you do to make the world a better place?
Bear in mind that this is your first day in the office, so no pressure.
Of course.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So in the future is coming a meeting. It's a very important meeting because all the high ranks of all the countries of all 193 members come in to discuss the kind of like future of United Nations to make an important decision. So in that meeting, I would definitely discuss such big problems which we have right now, even with Agenda 2030, with the progress which we already made, and how we should like put more efforts into completing it.
Thank you so much. And I have to say that the President Dennis Francis and the PGAs for a day have to exit in a few minutes because they have a meeting that they have to attend. But I think Deji has a question to President Francis. Go ahead.
Yes, Mr. President Erik, Madam President Fariha, sorry, President Francis, I don't have a question for you.
No, that's okay.
Okay, I just want to ask both of you, today you are the President of the General Assembly, so tomorrow, what are you going to share with your friends of your experience as the President of General Assembly?
So when I first came here, I feel so excited, and I meet with and many person, and today I meet with him, and it's very honorable for me. So they're good personality and good person. So and I learned many things from here. Yeah, I'm so very happy, and I will share everything that about United Nations. We learn many things, how they work for the world. So we'll share everything and what we learned from today.
Me personally, I'm very proud of being a president of General Assembly, and tomorrow I'm thinking about sharing the experience which I had today. Today I met and will meet a lot of important people as Mr. President himself. I'm very proud of it, and I will try to advocate my friends, my colleagues, whoever I can, to help the world getting better, because I feel like we still need more people in the United Nations. We still need clear minds how to have solutions for a better world. So yeah, I will try to advocate and to share my experience. Maybe it will kind of convince them to help in the world.
Okay, I think we have time for one more question, and then one more question, sorry. And then
Can I just say quickly,
Go ahead.
Monica, if
Yes,
I may?
Sure, go ahead, Mr. President.
Let us not assume that the only learning that will take place in this process is from the older guy to these young presidents. That is not necessarily going to be all that happens. These young people may well teach the older guy a couple of things. So this is an interactive, mutually beneficial experience, the design of which is such as to give exposure to the perspectives of both groups, consistent, of course, with the principle that we operationalize in the UN, which is that all stakeholders must have voice in making our processes holistic, comprehensive, and credible. That's the formula for finding good solutions, durable solutions to big problems. So the learning can go both ways.
Thank you, Mr. President. Yeah, you have a question, and then we go. Thanks.
This is Arun Lewis from Indo-Asian News Service. I have a question for any of the three presidents. Right now, the UN seems to be unable to do anything about the three immediate crises, Ukraine, Gaza, and Sudan. And you also have the long-term crises like the climate change and so forth. Now, what kind of reforms would you consider that the UN should be taking to help resolve these problems?
I think, to be fair, I'll take that question. With the agreement of my colleagues, of course. The premise of the question appears to be that, I think you said it, the UN has not been able to solve some key questions. You referenced the wars, I believe, and climate change, for example. um, we must be careful to understand that the UN is not and has not been a problem. The UN did not create these situations. In fact, we don't like them at all. We continue to believe that both the major wars taking place now in Ukraine and in Gaza were avoidable. But the fact is, for example, in respect of Gaza, that there's a very advanced process of mediation taking place involving key players and influencers in the Middle East that have credibility with both sides, both Hamas and Israel and Hezbollah and others. And the UN fully supports that process. We want it to work because if you go back in the records and check, you will see that the General Assembly, in both resolutions it passed on Gaza, did not demand a temporary ceasefire. We demanded a ceasefire, total and complete. And the reason for that is because it was then and continues to be our desire now that the bloodshed should stop, and stop right away in order to save human lives, in order to prevent many of the consequences that we knew would result if there was open military engagement in Gaza. We don't need to go into the details of that. We know what they are. So we fully support the process of mediation taking place and hope, and I'm sure we are prepared to do everything we can to bring that process to fruition. We are not directly involved, but we are monitoring it very closely and would like to see the decision taken on both sides for that ceasefire to happen. And once it happens, to be honored by both sides. By both sides. In respect of climate change, the climate belongs to none of us, but it belongs to all of us. And that is why the only solution to climate change must involve all members of the international community working in coordination and in solidarity to decarbonize the atmosphere at a rate that will preserve the 1.5 degree threshold. We are already living the realities of the consequences of climate change. It is here, it is now, it's not tomorrow. But our actions, climate action has not kept pace with the changes taking place in the atmosphere and with its impacts on the ground. And so we need to up our game. It will be very important, the forthcoming COP in Azerbaijan, because the situation really is growing worse on a daily basis. Right now, we're seeing the fires in parts of southern Europe, in Greece, in Spain, and I think in Portugal. And it is known that this is as a consequence of the excessive heating of the global atmosphere. So we need to act responsibly, and we need to act sustainably.
Oh, my question was more in terms of, like, for example, when the two pro tem presidents become, actual presidents in that era, what kind of reform for the UN would be needed to make it more effective?
What kind of reform?
The UN structure.
Well, as you know, we have an ongoing process in UN reform, and it's a dynamic process. Substantive progress has been made in some areas. Your question is a little bit difficult to answer because we cannot project from now what the precise situation will be that will confront the presidents in 20 years. We do not know what the political dynamics will be. So it's a little bit different, but what I will say to you is that there is considerable appetite in the House for Security Council reform to be effected. That process is ongoing. Substantive progress has been made, though at the moment, and I must emphasize this, there are no formal negotiations for Security Council reform. That is a decision that the members will take when to commence formal negotiations. However, much time and effort has gone into examining the various formulas that are on the table, establishing clarity. And from all that I'm aware, I'm pleased to say that the process has thus far pretty much delivered what I consider to be a framework that could, on balance, attract the support of the membership as a solid basis for continuing to work.
Thank you very much, Mr. President. Oh, sorry. Have you concluded? Oh, that's very kind. Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President, Your Excellency, Mr. Dennis Francis, President of the General Assembly. Also, thank you very much, Madam President, PGA for a day, Fariha Akter, Madam Akter. And thank you very much, Mr. President, PGA for a day, Erik Ponomarev, for this press conference. This will conclude our press conference. Now the three PGAs will go to the next meeting. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow. Thank you very much.
Thank
you
you.
very much.